It's and welcome back to my channel for another video, and today I am doing my February plan with me for my secondary theme for my bullet journal. I am sharing 8 pages with you guys today, including a weekly spread. So if you are interested in a love letter theme and roses theme bullet journal, then keep on watching. Here are some of the supplies that I will be using in this video. They will be all listed on the screen, as well as all linked in the description box down below, so you can go check them out on here. Also, if you want to see all of the pages all filled in and all finished, they will be at the end of this video in a flip through, and I will leave timestamps of all of the pages in the description box down below as well. So if you are only interested in one specific spread, then you can find them there. So as I've said in the intro, this is the second theme that I am sharing for February, and the reason why I have 2 different themes and 2 different monthly setup is because I have a small business where I sell digital bullet journals and planners, and I always have a theme for my shop, and I always do a physical version first so that I can plan it a little bit better before I do it on my iPad, because I am not the best for digital drawing yet, so it's a good practice for me, and it's always some more content for you guys, so I am sharing them just as a secondary theme. So I have a love letter and roses theme for this year. Love letter is the primary theme, and I have some roses here and there, and right now I am working on the cover page. But before I forget, if you want to check out my shop, it will be in the description box down below. And even though February has already started, you can still get the pages. I also have an undated versions as well as a non-colored version if you want to color the spreads yourself. So for this cover page, I have in the center of the page a really big envelope, and I have some roses, like a bouquet of roses coming out of it, kind of like it slipped into it, and some letters and postcards flying off of it, kind of around it mostly. And you can see some close-ups of how I made the drawings. It is actually super easy to make, and I only used a few colors, so this is a very simple theme even if you are not very good at drawing. I will explain a little bit later how I made the roses, but it's actually not that complicated to make. So for my second page, I have a calendar, and I kept the layout extremely simple so that I would have a lot of space to add some fun doodles around and just have a lot of fun just making the spread all pretty. So the calendar is 6 by 6 squares per day, and February has 28 days, so there's 28 squares, and then I have a 2 square tall border at the top, which I colored in pink to have the days of the week. And that's basically it for the actual calendar part. Here I'm doing some simple calligraphy for the lettering for February, and if you've seen it, I'm not the best yet at calligraphy. I use the Tombow dual brush markers, but what I do is just do the lettering, trying to press down when I have downstrokes, and then if I'm not happy with the results, I just go back in and draw with the pen. And then I added a kind of shadow, but not a full shadow, just some part of the shadow with a black fine liner before moving on to all of the doodles around the page. On the left side, I have an envelope for a goal section, and at the top, a folded paper for a note section. But here you can see a little bit better how I made the roses, and it's actually pretty simple. For roses from up top, you basically start extremely small, making a circle kind of overlapping each other, and then the more you go out, the bigger they get, and then you just have to make them not look perfect and just get bigger and bigger until you have the flower that you like. And I would just say, like, do it as many times as you need to feel happy with the results. The ones from the sides are a tiny little bit more complicated, and I don't know how to explain how I make them because I have not figured it out perfectly yet. But I would highly suggest just finding a drawing of a rose like on Pinterest and look at how they placed each line and kind of try to replicate it a few times, and then you will get kind of the hang of it and be able to do it yourself. My first tracker for the month is a habits tracker, and I decided to go with kind of postcards style for each habit. And inside of those postcards, which are colored in beige, I have the mini calendar for the month. And if you don't know what a habit tracker is, it is basically a way to track anything that you want to do on a regular basis or daily basis, and you basically have all of the days of the month that are written out in a calendar form. And then let's say you want to drink a liter of water every day. If you actually manage to do it, then you just can either color it in or just cross it out, and it kind of helps you to motivate you to want to do it, and also kind of lets you see your progress and see like where you can improve or what has helped you, what hasn't, and just build better habits for yourself in general. I have used this kind of trackers to help me build up after a few months of doing something for every day. It just becomes part of your daily routine and you don't need the habits tracker anymore as a reminder. So I think it's really cool for that. And for the kind of decorations of this page, at the top of the page I have two letters or envelopes and then two postcards, and at the bottom I am doing an ombre lettering, which is extremely simple to do. All you need is to take your lightest color and draw the entirety of the lettering that you want to do, and then you just take the darker color, put it either at the top or at the bottom, whichever one you want, and then use the lighter color again to blend them together. At least for the Tombow markers it works that way. And now I am moving on to drawing some roses in the middle of the habits tracker, so you can see a little bit more of how I made them. I had a lot of fun with these. But you can see that none of them look exactly the same and they are very messy, so it's okay. They don't have to look any perfect or anything. It's just this effects that it does by having these circles going around from the middle that gives it this rose feeling. And we are now moving on to the moose tracker, which is extremely simple. This tracker is great for mental health purposes, or just to keep an eye on yourself and see how happy you are, or how satisfied you are in general in your life. I just made an envelope for each day, and then it can be colored with how you are feeling every day. I feel like it's a really helpful tracker to see how you're doing, how what you're doing in your life is affecting you. It's just overall a great tool to see how you're doing, kind of like in your everyday life. I just left it pretty blank. I just have the envelope colored with the title and the key coming out as a letter from the envelope in the middle, but that's pretty much it for that one. Moving on to our next tracker, which is a sleep tracker, a very basic bullet journal essential to basically track how much you are sleeping. And with the key at the bottom, you can also use different colors to see how good your sleep was. So to rate the quality of your sleep, this is a very basic tracker. I just have a box which is as wide as the page, and it is 29 square tall, so 28 for the 28 days, and then 1 square at the top to write all of the hours, and then I just decorated at the top. You can see here I'm doing some envelopes, and I wanted to explain kind of how I made them. Basically it's just a rectangle, and then I just have the corners rounded, and then from the top half a V going down to about the middle, which is also kind of rounded, and then 2 little lines as if underneath that first triangle there's another one but going under that isn't finished, if that makes any sense. You also were able to see a little bit better of my fake calligraphy, where I just draw the first part of the letter and just add the bigger part of the letter that is a little bit thicker afterwards. So that's kind of a cheaty way to make calligraphy if you don't actually know how to make it, but that's pretty much it for this one. And now we have a water tracker, another essential and really easy spread to have. But before we go any further, if you are enjoying this video so far, don't forget to subscribe to my channel if you want to see more. Like this video, it always helps my channel out, and turn on the post notification bell if you want to get notified whenever I upload next. So back to the video. For this tracker, it is the same base as a sleep tracker. I just changed how I made the box. I also have a key at the bottom, which is just a little envelope, and then at the top I did the writing inside of envelopes. And to do the open envelopes, I just have the same bottom, which is just the 3 down sides of the envelope as a U shape, and then going up from it I just have a rectangle, and then I have 2 lines connecting it to the envelopes. So extremely easy to do. I just added the title inside of it, a little rose on the side, and that was basically it for this one. Next, I have another mental health related spread, which is a gratitude log. And this one is more to focus on the positive and help you change the way you see your life and change your mindset to thinking more positively. It is an extremely simple spread. I just have the numbers on the side and a title at the top and nothing else. And the way it works, you basically have a line for each day where you can write something that you are grateful for, and it can be as simple as grateful for having a home, or for just being alive, or the weather being good. Anything works, and it's just a mindful exercise to do every day to help you see more positively and help with mental health over time. And also, before I forget, don't forget to check out my TikTok and other socials in the description box down below. I post daily on there, so if you want to get more content from me, that's where you need to be. And to finish off this monthly setup, we have the weekly spread layout. I always do one layout per month, and I left them undated, so in my shop you can get one weekly spread and just print multiple of them to have one for every week, or use them on an iPad and just have multiple of them. And I had a lot of fun with this one this month. I went with having all boxes for each day, and I decided to change things up and actually use the pink I was using for making the outline of the boxes. And the boxes are 11 by 12 squares, and in between them there's one on top of each other, there's one square to separate them, and then 3 in between them, in between each columns. And then each box has a little envelope to have the days of the month. So if Monday is the 2nd of the month, it can add the number 2. And then I just added the days of the week inside of the boxes before moving on to the event section, which is 11 square wide by 31 squares tall. Each daily section is 4 square tall, and you basically have a space to write all of the events and appointments for each day, and the envelope part is 3 square tall. And then I just added the first letter of the name of the days of the week. Sorry, I've talked too much already. I can't find my words anymore. I added a note section at the bottom of the left page, and now I'm adding a mini calendar with the first 3 letters of the month at the top to add which week it is. And then I'm adding another little rose on from the side view, so you can see a little bit better how I made them, but honestly I can't really explain it. But yeah, that's another pretty simple spread, I would say. Just adding some green to the stem, and then adding the last finishing touches with another rose, another postcard, and some envelopes in the blank corner over there. But that's basically it for this one, and then the only thing left will be the final flip through of all of the pages all completed once I had them all finished. So I hope you enjoyed and that you found some inspiration, and if you want to see more, subscribe to my channel. I post new videos multiple times a week, and I always have at least one bullet journal video each week. Also follow me on all of my other socials. I post daily on there, and I will see you guys in the next one. Bye!